All right, the orange light is on. Give Sal a big round of applause. Yes. He's starting the camera right now. Is Edwin already going to the back, man, before we set him there? Oh, he's going to check his video camera there. So now it's time for our featured speaker, and who knows that we have a tradition here at the GNA. Sepida, we need to pick on you. You haven't been here in a while. How are you doing?
Great, how are you?
Great, don't worry, we're not going to talk about the future wedding here at the chicken coop like we used to talk about last year. Sepida and Kenny are a great, great couple here today. So please welcome them, give them a big round of applause. We just love that. So what is our tradition here at the GNA?
The speaker makes a grand entrance from the back.
That's right, we send our featured speaker all the way to the back. So Edwin Duterte, did I say your name correctly? Did I remember it? You have to go all the way to the back, way past the exit sign, and that way you can make that grand entrance, right, Edwin? Edwin, you like the grand entrance? It's a nice day outside, right? Okay, so the story about how I met Edwin, really interesting. And I was looking back at my Outlook calendar where I put notes on where I meet people. How many of you take notes on where you meet people? Because you never know what it might lead to several years down the road. You meet so many people, and you see the same people at so many different places that if you have a situation like this, you want to remember how you met them, right? And I remember clearly, Edwin and I met at our Interactive Fridays at the Beverly Heritage Hotel event almost 2 years ago. That was an event that we started running as an informal event before we started the GNA, and once we started the GNA, about 6 months after we launched that event, which was the middle of 2010, during summertime, then we added it to one of our GNA events. And I met Edwin. What I really liked about Edwin, has a great personality, really outgoing guy, and he has a really fascinating business on what he does to help people, and that's why he's here to speak today. So, at this week's meeting, Edwin's going to discuss buzz media strategies, how to get the attention of CNN to get on CNN. Now, how many of you here would love to have a little clip on CNN as the expert in your industry? Okay, raise your hands here. Okay, and what do you think that would do for your exposure on a national level? How many of you here can do business locally? Obviously, everybody, right? How many of you can do business here, you know, statewide? How many of you can do business here on a national level in the U.S.? Okay, and how many of you here can do business internationally? Well, that's what Edwin's here to help us learn today. So I'm going to read a little bit about his bio here really briefly, then we'll bring him out. So Edwin Duterte helps small business owners, senior management, and staff members discover their brand's charisma, foster and promote their moxie, and create strategies that create opportunities to make business bigger and better. He believes that people do business with companies they like. He knows how to make them, let me flip the page here, like you. When there is a legal issue involving women, CNN calls Gloria Allred. If something in your industry is happening, why are reporters not calling you? Edwin Duterte will show you how to use the media to show off your expertise. So on that note, I'd like you to please stand up and rise to your feet. Please stand up and rise to your feet and give a big warm cheer to Edwin Duterte! Thank you for being here. It's all yours, man.
Thanks, Elias. I wasn't really expecting that, but thank you. Let's see. Before I start, let me set something. You know, let us set a foundation. One of the things when I used to sell real estate, I sold real estate right out of high school, and one thing that I learned back in '87 was facts tell, stories sell. Yep. So I'm gonna talk about that, how that relates to what I do. Let's see. Well, let me ask, what do people do in the room? Let me get an idea, because we're going to do a little exercise in about 10 minutes. You guys name some of the things you guys do? Does anyone do real estate?
Len Walter.
Real estate. Anybody do finance? What else do you guys do?
Insurance.
Insurance. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna, we'll talk about later. Okay. So what Elias said about me, I appreciate it. But let me give you a little bit about my background, because my background is more similar to what everybody else's. I went to high school locally with Gene, back in town, go independent. And right after high school, I started selling real estate. Sold real estate residential for 10 years. did mortgages as well. Then moved down to Southern California, got into commercial real estate, worked at several banks and institutions, did some of the large deals in Southern California, did construction, and then in 2003, I started a company called One Key Away, and One Key Away was all about dating, and I had these little devices made where people would go on the internet before this whole boom happened. They would go on the internet, answer 64 questions about the personality, and I'll take that information into these little computer chips, and then I would rent out halls like this and do dating events where people would come, meet people, press a button, zap, point to each other, and it will zap the information to each other, and it'll tell you how compatible you guys are.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was a lot of fun. And the first time I did an event in Santa Monica, I put out on the web on Evite, and Evite picked it up, and Evite at that time was new. And what they did is they picked, this was January 2004, and what they did is they looked at all the Evites around the country, and they picked what is the coolest thing to do that day. And they picked me, and they sent out an email blast to everybody in Evite. And what that did is that generated news from Channel 11, which is the Fox affiliate. So my very first event, my very first real dating event, because I tested it, a few times, I got press to come out there. And when the press came, at 10 o'clock, they showed the little, what happened that night. The next day, it blew up my website, it crashed the website, and I got calls from all over the country. And for the next, I would say 18 months after that, I got on TV throughout the country, and the local ABC affiliate picked me up, the local KTLA picked me up, as well as ABC, and then I went down to New York. I did an event in New York. They picked me up, and each time I would do these events, the news would come. And in, I think, 2005, 2006, ABC World News Tonight, where Charles Gibson came, and they filmed our event. And after we did that, the AP News, I don't know, have you guys ever heard of AP?
Oh yes, Associated Press. Yeah.
So the Associated Press came and did a feature, and the next day I got calls from Israel, Korea, asking about this whole technology, but I wasn't ready for it. I was still working at the bank, and then when I decided to take the plunge, that's when the economy broke down. I got laid off in 2008, January 2008, before the whole recession. I did construction, so we were the first people to even kind of get hurt by the recession. We didn't even know there was going to be a recession. And at that time, I thought that was the greatest thing since sliced bread, for me anyway, because I was talking to a couple of investors. One investor was trying to bring out the NFL to Los Angeles. I pitched him for $2 million. And then in March of 2008, I went to this conference, and apparently so did these investors, where they predicted that there was going to be a recession starting in September. So that investor, instead of infusing $2 million in cash into my company, he said, let's hold off on it, and let's see where everything goes. I should have followed up with them because things are changing. But at that point, I decided what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out there and see what's kind of similar. So I started throwing these job networking events, and when I did these job networking events, I did the same things. I threw events, and when I threw the events, I invited the media. Okay, and I'll share with you some of the techniques I did in a second. But so that's from that. I got more press throughout the country, and that got me more business. And recently I started a PR company called Mediaployment, and one of my clients is a yachting company. And about a week ago, I picked up a short film, a Hollywood film that hopefully you'll hear about it in the next year. So I can't really say who's who, but that's what it is. So that's what happened with me. So I know Elias talked about will media help you? Does anybody know? I know a lot of people know they want media to come, but does anybody realize what media does to your business? What? It gives exposure, number one. What else does it do?
Credibility.
Credibility. Okay, because you can always, spend your own money and pay for a commercial, but that has a different credibility than if ABC News did a report on you. So, so basically, what you want to do with media is show your credibility to the media and have the media expose who you are, because that's what's going to give you the exposure. And when you get that, business will be a lot easier. Because if you look at my background is not PR. My background is finance, banking, and real estate. There's, which is totally opposite from PR. Every time I go to a PR event, I'm the biggest introvert in the room normally when I'm at a PR event. But because I know how to use the media, I can get respect from companies because of that. All right, so let's talk about two ideas when we talk about getting press. The first idea is what you guys kind of talked about, is you have to be likable. Because the media, they like to, they're entertainment. If you're talking about news, if you're talking about print, radio, it's all about entertainment. So what you really need to do is be likable. And the second thing is reporters are lazy. Yeah, so once they have a source, they're always going to go to that source. Elias mentioned that anytime there's a legal issue that involves females, they go to Gloria. So in Southern California, anytime there's an employment issue, they'll call me. So that's why I've been on CNN, Fox News, ABC, is because I've been identified as a expert in employment issues and the go-to guy. In LA, there's 10 million people in LA, and I'm sure there's at least 5 million smarter than me. People are smarter than me. But the press is so lazy. What they'll do is, as soon as they get a lead, you will be the go-to guy. So so really, try to make friends with as many reporters as possible. If they like you, they will they'll report on anything. So so here, those are the rules. Also, what reporters like is they want to see you guys take a stance. They do not like to see people who are wishy-washy. Because they don't really care. News reporters don't care what they're reporting. They try to be fair and balanced. But if you take a stance, you'll have a higher probability of getting embedded in that news report. All right, and let's see. Also be interesting. Again, news. They are entertainment. Whether we believe it or not, they make money by how many readers that they get. And if you are in front of the camera giving a lame speech that goes on and on and on, you're not going to get that soundbite. So so there's ways to get sound bites. All right, so let's go to facts tell and stories sell. Current events. As a business owner, you really have to know what your current events are, because what you want to do is you want to embed yourself into a story. Because reporters, they don't want to do an infomercial on you guys. What they want to do is they want to enhance their story. So you have to figure out an angle to get embedded in that. For instance, who's in real estate? Real estate. Do you guys know what went on the last couple of days with real estate in the news? Okay, so
what are you referring to?
In the news. So in the last couple of days, I think today they announced that real estate increased 10% nationally from year on, right? I think appreciation from last year. Okay. When they report stories like that, they should be calling you, or they should be calling you. So when you hear a story, you really should anticipate when these stories are coming out. How do you figure out these stories? How many people knew Facebook was going to go public? Everybody knew. How many knew Facebook was going to go public a month ago?
Oh.
2 months ago?
Oh yeah. Longer.
3 months ago?
Longer.
So, is there a way that you could figure out a story angle to get embedded? For instance, Elias, here in insurance and finance.
Insurance, yeah.
So I'm sure you could have wrote a little press release saying, in the Bay Area, Facebook is going public, which is going to create about 1,000 millionaires, and these millionaires should have X, Y, Z in place if they want to save their money, right? You could have done that.
That's a good point.
So
yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is, if you know stories are going to come out way in advance, start making friendships with the reporters. And I'll give you my biggest secret. Who knows how to read an economic calendar? Okay, so your homework assignment tonight is to Google Bloomberg economic calendar. And the economic calendar, what that will do is, every day there's reports out in the economy that are coming out. Today, real estate news came out. Every Thursday, unemployment claims come out. Every first Friday of the month, unemployment figures come out. So, for me, because I do pinks at mixers, how many people heard of pinks at mixers? A couple people? Okay, I must not be doing my job, but pinks at mixers is a networking event where I gathered job seekers together and help them find jobs. I do stuff for the vets, I do stuff for the challengers as well as the older adults. Because I do that, I know that every Thursday unemployment claims come out. Every first Friday the unemployment rate comes out. One Tuesday a month the monster numbers come out. So anytime those numbers come out, I'm continually writing press releases, a page. And in the page I say, it's anticipated unemployment claims are to be this, and in the next paragraph, I say something like, Edwin Duterte of Pinks at Mixers sees that because unemployment is going down, job seekers should really be active in this, and then I give a solution to the problem. And it's just a little quote, and sometimes they'll just take that quote and embed that quote into a newspaper article. Or if it's really big news, they'll send out cameras and they'll call me up and say, Edwin, we like the quote, can you meet me in front of Starbucks? And then they'll bring out their cameras and they'll do the report. They'll ask me the question that I posed in the press release. So what you want, so how I generate press is I generate, my questions that I want the reporters to ask me, and I come out with an angle that they're not coming around. For instance, one of my clients is Recovery at Sea. Recovery at Sea is a nonprofit PTSD and drug substance abuse treatment. And what they do is, in addition to the treatment, they have an on-the-job training program that helps the clients fix yachts. So what I did is, last month the unemployment numbers came out. That Thursday, I wrote a press release saying that the Recovery at Sea knows that veterans who have PTSD have trouble finding jobs, as well as drug substance abuse. And what we do at Recovery at Sea is we teach them not only how to deal with their issues, but we also we also give them a skill that they could use to find jobs. And it just so happened that next day, the unemployment rate came out. And guess who covered it? ABC News. So I took an angle of these drug substance abusers, or this care facility, and I created that into a newsworthy story. It had nothing to do with the economy. Well, it kind of did, but it really didn't. I created that angle. So if you're in real estate, you can do the same thing. If you're in, I think there's send-out cards. Some people are doing send-out cards. So anytime there's issues of small business, what I would do is, I'll read you a page. Anytime there's something to do with small business, I would say write a letter to reporters, and how you find the right reporters is also important. Look at go on the websites of like ABC News, on local ABC7 or KNTV or one of those guys, or even the Mercury News, and find out the reporters of the business reports. What I would do is I would say send-out cards is not only using technology, but they use what's old is new again, and the old will attract new business or something like that. So then you send that out a few days before these reports come out, and it's really important that after you send it through email, because a lot of the reporters online will have links that deal direct, that I'll send the email out to them. Send that, and then give them a phone call. Reporters, believe it or not, answer the phones. I think a few years ago, when I started in 2003 to get press, I would pick up the phone and they would go straight to voicemail. But again, going back to this, what's old is new again. They are answering because they get emails, and some of these reporters get 100, 200 emails a day. So it's almost refreshing to them that someone is calling them, because we, as a community, we're scared to pick up the phone now.
That's a good point.
So, and they don't mind answering the phone. So what's old is new again. So really, use that personal touch, and they will appreciate that. When you, just like what you guys said earlier about the hard pitches, reporters don't want to be hard pitched. So if give them a story idea, if they like it, they'll say, tell me more. And the kiss of death, if they say, send me a press release, then just hang up the phone. And just call them again next month. Because every time I call a reporter, and as soon as I say, I have a story idea that you might be interested in, they'll say, well, pitch it, tell me what's it about. And I'll say, well, it's about this, blah, 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 it has these players. And I really frame it in a way that I don't tell them the facts. I incorporate the facts within the story. Because we all know that facts tell, stories sell. So if I frame it by saying we have 50 disabled veterans from New Directions, which is a challenging program from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. They're going to come on. We're going to have 50 people who have PTSD on a boat, and we're going to teach them how to deal with their post-traumatic depression. And hopefully they'll sign up for this program, and in 90 days we hope to give these guys skills to find them a job. And 9 times out of 10, when I show them that story where it has players, it has a beginning, it has a middle, and an end, and it shows also the challenges and solutions to this challenge, then they will take that story and run with it, and give the spin. But usually 80% of that story pitch they'll use. Or if they say, great story idea, send me a press release. I'll send them a press release, and then then I'll just call them again next month, because I know they're probably not going to use that story. So if you call the reporters, pitch them your story, but don't pitch them too hard where you're gonna hurt your relationship in the future, because we're all in it for the long term. And if you're sending out cards, if you're doing real estate or if you're doing insurance or whatnot, you want an ongoing business, and you want to make sure that that the reporters are on your side. And really, again, reporters are people. And one of the things that I do anytime that they do a report on me, I ask them out for lunch. I do the one-on-ones. I go out to coffee so much that I probably go out to coffee like 5 or 6 times a day with different reporters, different business people. So I'm always amped up. So just kind of.
We have that in common, don't we, Edwin?
Yeah. Exactly. So so kind of keep that, and let's see. Real quick, how do you find them? One way. How many people use Twitter?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if you are in like traditional business or your real estate, find a following on Twitter and find out what they're talking about. And I would say about 70 to 80% of the reporters are using Twitter. So find reporters on Twitter, follow what they're writing about, and when you see what they're writing about, comment on what they're writing about, because they want to know who they're interacting with. And if you give good quotes on Twitter, there's another probability that they'll use it. How many people use Google Plus? 1, 2. Okay. If anything, I recommend that you guys use Google Plus. Google Plus has this feature called Hangouts, and reporters are starting to use Hangouts. So locally, this guy named George Kiriyama, he's with NBC. He's on Hangouts, and when he's on a report, this like I remember last week or last month, he did a shooting around here, and he brought his computer and he did a hangout. So not only was he on live, doing that, then he went back to the community and he started talking about this. So he's using Hangouts. A gal named Melissa Carlson, she's with KRNV in Reno. She does Hangouts every day, 10:50, and 10:50 as well as noon. And she's a local. She went to Santa Clara High here, and so she has a liking for people from San Jose. Find her. Her name is Melissa Carlson. Right there. Write her name down. Find her on Google Plus and start communicating with her. Once you get vetted, then then she'll put you on TV. I've been on many things with them. In fact, we went to Vegas together. And how many people I have ever partnered with reporters? Yeah, one. So I found a whole group of reporters, and through Google Plus, I started hanging out with them in Vegas just because of Google Plus, because of the relationships we're making through Google Plus. So start going on Google Plus, find the different reporters, and they're starting to use that, and they're using a lot of the comments from Google Plus, from the Hangouts, on air. So the reason why they're doing that is because it costs money to drive around a van. Well, they have these things called man on the street interviews. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but you've probably seen them, where they find a topic, they go to a mall, and they'll say, what do you think about this murder, or what do you think about this tax issue or something? And then you see those little 10-second sound bites. So what a lot of reporters are doing now is they are going to Google Plus and asking those questions, and it's saving them time and money. A good example of that is Makalo Medina from KNBC in Los Angeles. So if you are up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you want to get on TV, even in LA, find Makalo, and he'll ask you questions. Take that, hopefully he'll ask a question about your, if that's something that's relevant. And if you're keen enough to take whatever that topic is, even if it's about a movie, and if you can relate that movie or that issue into whatever you're doing, chances are he'll get you on that space. I've done it at least 3 or 4 dozen times where they might talk about tires. And because they're talking about tires, I've been able to talk about employment, and so there's certain ways where you can do that. Other than that, be interested.
How do you find out about trends in media?
Okay, there's different ways you can find out about trends. What I do, because I know a lot of the things that I do are business related, the biggest trend that I can foresee is the economic calendar. So I really highly recommend looking at the economic calendar, and then if you look at Bloomberg, they'll have analysis on there. So you could look super smart by just reading, just almost going word for word what that analysis is going. Because when they do like these interviews, if you don't have any comments, then they're not going to use you. But if you have comments, even if they're manufactured by another analyst, you'll sound smart. So that's what I do. that. So
Plagiarism. Yeah.
plagiarism is
We know what that means, right?
plagiarism is good because not everybody's reading that, so someone has to read the news.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, if you steal one idea, it's plagiarism. If you steal a lot of ideas, it's research.
Right, exactly.
This is where your legal comes in handy, Len.
Any other questions? Let me pitch a couple of things. I just got hired. Write this down and write down youtube.com/shadow lurkers with an S movie. Okay, I'm working on this short trailer, and we're trying to sell that to a big A-list Hollywood person. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get 50,000 hits on that YouTube channel as soon as we release the trailer. The trailer is going to come out on June 4th, and the reason why we're releasing it on June 4th, even though this is a trailer, and no one knows about this movie, no one knows who the director is, but we're releasing it on June 4th because we see a couple things happen. June 4th is a full moon.
Yeah.
This movie is a sci-fi based on the Mayan calendar, and it's shadows. So imagine the darkness, and when there's dark, shadows come to life. And that's what this movie's about. It's about the Mayan calendar, how eclipse is a portal to the shadow world. Even though this movie isn't gory, what the director wanted to do with this movie is they wanted to make this movie to shadows as Jaws is to sharks. Where you don't even see the shark, in Jaws for the first, you don't even see the shark until like an hour into the movie. That's the same with this movie. Where it's not gory, it's one of those sci-fis that really make you think. So we picked June 4th is because there's a full moon, and we believe there's a lunar eclipse. So even though we haven't released it, we're using these same techniques that traditional PR people are doing with normal movies. So if you look at movies that are coming out, they're always released, during some kind of event. So yeah.
Edwin, would you repeat it? Was a shadow lurker?
Oh, shadow lurkers. SHADOWLURKERS. Movies or movie. And we're gonna release that. And follow us on Facebook. We're on Facebook.
What's your website?
My website? I have a couple. Pinksit Mixers is my main. PinkSlipMixers.com. Pink, like pink slip, like when you get fired. That's one. The Viral Publicity is one of the other PR companies. And I don't have the site up yet, but Mediaployment, MEDIAPLOYMENT. I don't have anything for that yet.
Can you tell us briefly, the types of clients you're looking for, what types of people you're looking to work with?
Well, the type of clients I'm looking for are movie producers. So if anybody knows any filmmakers, even if they're local, I'm doing that. Nonprofits are another one of my customers that are clients that I want to go after. Any small business, I started, a little history about the Viral Publicity. What I thought with Viral Publicity is something similar to what Elias is doing. Is if you go on youtube.com/Viral Publicity, you'll see about 400 videos of small businesses like everybody else. I did little cuts of people, and I gave them their 30-second pitch. And what I made, and you guys might want to think about this when you're doing your videos for Elias, is one of the things that I see a lot of businesses do when they do their little videos is they talk about the facts. If you want to find a customer, the customer, they don't want to know what you do, but they want to know about you. So you might want to, try to get your personality in those videos. So not only tell the fact, but as smart as you can, input your personality. And with the Viral Publicity, I opened up in 3 cities. I opened in Las Vegas, the Bay Area, and Los Angeles. and at the time we were doing pretty good. And then in 2011, I started it. Well, here's an interesting story. I started the Viral Publicity June 29th, 2010. July 2nd, 2010, 2 or 3 days later, I was in Hollywood on CNN talking about my project, and I used the same techniques. I found a day, and I think it was the end of the quarter, or is June the end of the quarter for companies?
Yeah.
Yeah, it all depends. I think there was like this big news that this economic news. So I saw that opportunity the last week of June. I actually started the company June 29th, and I sent out the press releases. And because there was a big economic news about corporations, I think either they're funding or startups or something, I knew it was coming out because I looked on the economic calendar. 2 days later, I was on CNN talking about this new company that I started. So, so really look at the events that's coming on and how that how that impacts the community. Don't sell try not to sell, and try to do as little self-promotion as possible. If you do self-promotion, reporters will get that and see that, and they don't want to make your infomercial. But if you say, I'll go back to saying that question because that's what's on my mind right now.
Sal likes that, and Liz.
That the strength of the economy will be contingent on the strength of small business. The strength of small business can only happen one-on-one. Not a Facebook, but a one-on-one relationship. And the one-on-one relationship will be the personal touch. Send out cards is that personal touch. So you kind of have to massage it, that way. So really find those events. It could be timed events. It could be whatever. I'll give you another example of some of the things. Lindsay Lohan is on our radar for Recovery at Sea because a couple things. She's a drug abuser, and she's falling right back into the drug abuse. So what I did is I went on Google and I did a Google alert. So anything, if Lindsay Lohan sneezes, I know what's going on. So what I'll do is I'll find those articles and then I'll either blog about it or I'll write about it. Or if I think that there's something really pertinent, I'll send an email out to the reporter and I'll say she sneezed and this is how she sneezed. Anything to get that reporter's attention and try to use an angle that they're not used to. So if you're going back to real estate, if I was a PR person for real estate 2 days ago, I wouldn't say that it's anticipated that that real estate is going to increase by 10% year on year. What I would say is something like because of Facebook's anticipated record IPO, it's anticipated that 1,000 millionaires are going to come online, and because of that, there's a lot of opportunity in the real estate market that can be for these people, whether it's an investment purposes or residential. I don't know, but really look at what's going on and watch the news as much as possible. My girlfriend hates me because I watch the news. I sleep with the news on. I'll wake up with the news. The TV's only off for like 4 hours. I sleep on it. So so I really recommend watching as much news, even though it's antisocial. Anything else? I'm kind of bouncing around here. So check out YouTube.com Shadow Lurkers Movie. Find us on Google+. Find me on Google+. If you find me on Google+ and you let me know what you guys are looking for, I can recommend reporters for you guys to follow. Locally, there's a whole bunch locally. Bob Riddell, he's at NBC. He's a local guy. He lives in Livermore. He's very, very down to earth. George Kiriyama, he's also local. Yeah, so yeah, just find me on Google Plus. So you can even add me on Facebook. You know, it'll take a while, but.
Yeah, and Edwin, just letting everybody know, Edwin is in our GNA Mastermind group page, and we've been connected for a while. Actually, I met you right about the time when you were getting the viral publicity going, and look where it's taking you today. I mean,
yeah,
look at where those connections.
When we met, I think.
Interactive
Bobby,
Fridays.
Yeah, with Bobby. We started that like 2 or 3 weeks before Bobby met you.
Yeah.
A week or two.
I met him at a Cesar Plata event, and then you guys both came to Interactive Fridays.
Yeah.
Which was, we still have that event, but it wasn't GNA at that point. We converted things to GNA about 6 months after that, but that's how we met, and look where it took you today, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what I did, how I got to where I'm at, is I drink a lot. So, that's what you gotta do, so.
You drink, yeah.
Switch to wine. Wine is food.
Well, so is beer. Well, thanks. Let me give you my first last name because I know it's kind of hard to spell. Edwin, and last name is Dut, T as in Tom, Erte. Find me on LinkedIn, Twitter. Find me at Pink Slipped, PINKSLIPPED, or Viral Publicity. I know you can find me on. I think I sent you a link that has all the videos.
Yeah, I put it on the event page. Do me a favor, can you post in the GNA Mastermind group page all the information so everybody can connect with you? Because I know sometimes people misplace things, and when you do that, it gets out there.
Well, no, yeah, thanks, and again, good luck with the do-it-yourself PR. It's don't be intimidated with PR. Even if you're doing it yourself, don't be intimidated by reporters. Give them a call. They'll appreciate it. They don't want to see you call all the time, but if you call once every 6 months, or what they love is if you comment on their stories. So find the reporters. Find Maria Parker Roma. She has like 1,000 comments every day, but she reads almost all of them. Find a whole bunch of people. Well, email me. I'll give you a list of the different reporters. And really, interact with them on Google Plus, on Facebook. I think the local news reporters still prefer Facebook. So, is everybody using Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. It sucks.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you, Edwin.